Morning. Good morning. There we go. Camera had to find me. Mm. Mm. Good morning, and this is a great way to kick off financial literacy. I call it Financial Empowerment Month, April. So thank you. Thank you. No, but I think there's something different in the way that we're ordering food, and in the way that we're living our life. And it could have a lot to do with they have so much brick and mortar, so they really sincerely want to restructure. And it would be amazing to see where they're going to go with this. But I bet it's going to be a movement towards less sit down and more drive through because people are just on the move. And I've been saying that a lot to my entrepreneurs that are in Afroeconomics that we have to think about how to increase our earnings, how to make sure that your bottom line is getting better and better and you're operating your business more efficiently. Think about how many years McDonald's has just been nonstop, So and they may not, and I'm sure they don't need as many people as they used to. Like my first dream job was to work at McDonald's. And McDonald's then needed a lot of people. And now, especially after COVID, their personnel needs for inside are not as many. So, and then machines can do a lot of the cooking. So technology has changed, and then the requirements of food has to be a particular temperature and things like that. It used to be in my time of working at McDonald's where the manager could just go by and touch burgers and say that's old, throw it away. Now I'm sure they can't get away with that. That stuff has to be temperature controlled, thrown away when it reaches a particular temperature, and those are the type of things that I'm sure they have to restructure because they've just been around and open doing the same thing for so long. So when you're smaller, you can do something like this without making such a great announcement. When you're McDonald's, anything that you decide to do is gonna be a headline. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, it's a desire to increase the earnings. The sad part, like you brought up, that was a job that no one wanted to really get. But McDonald's and all fast food, I'm sure, are positioning themselves to not have to hire so many people. I mean, it's really going that way. I mean, it's amazing to think that a burger restaurant can become a technology company, but with apps and everything, people wanting things to be delivered to the house, and I mean, did you ever think that there'd be a time where you would have your McDonald's come to your front door? But that's where we are now. I bet they have more. deliveries than they have people that dine in the restaurant at this point. So you have, Carl, this huge structure that you have to maintain all over the world, and you need to figure out how we're going to get rid of these places. What can we do with these places? So there's a lot, and as investors, shareholders, you want the company to have a strategy of how you're going to continue to stay competitive in a environment where it's not really designed for your type of food to have a lot of sit down inside. So they can get, I think they literally could, that's going to be a big part of this, how to get rid of all of those structures and how that's going to increase their profits going forward. Mm, mm, mm. Definitely. I mean, you hit it right on the nose. It's about, how can I make money, continue to make the money, but increase our profits. Like you can really grow your business without having so much pressure on sales. See, we always think about getting more and more and more and more customers, but a company like McDonald's, they've almost like maxed out. So they have to figure out how do we reposition ourselves to become, most importantly, more profitable going forward. Because I would hate to see them close down, like just, give up. I don't think they have to give up, but they do have to restructure so that the shareholders, the investors are winning. Because right now they may feel that having all of these employees, that the workers are winning and the shareholders are not getting the earnings that they deserve. So, and stock prices move higher based on future earnings, your sales minus your expenses. So if you have 50%, just for example, of your expenses, and I've looked at, their their numbers, but that's what they have to take time to do. That and the 50% of their expenses going to just maintaining buildings, then they need to restructure that aspect and get technology more involved in how they do business. And that's what they've been doing. It was forced on them, like you said, during COVID. And they're like, how do we maximize this? Because we see now that there's been a shift in how people are buying our food, and they're not coming in. I'm just say for example, that they discover, because I'm thinking, I don't remember the last time I went in and sat down in a restaurant, any restaurant. So, but are people still going into McDonald's and bringing their kids in and letting them slide down and get spit all over them and stuff like that, like they used to? We didn't even think about, that my child may get deathly ill from going to play in McDonald's. So now, if we're, uh-huh. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Mhm. And it's always been a challenge for you, like a challenge for us to make sure that we do the same thing that McDonald's is doing. Take time to say, Are my finances in order? Are I am I on the right path to reach the financial goals that I've set up for myself over the long term? And I don't think that we take as much time as we should to really restructure. As McDonald's is saying, you can just get stuck into your life 40, 50, 60 years down, and then you go, whoa, I haven't taken any time to think about how I spend my money. So if you sat down and looked at how you spend your money, where is the bulk of your spending going to? Because there's a lot of people who don't take their finances seriously. It would be great that instead of April being National Financial Literacy, that sounds so young to me. It sounds like just fundamentals, but at Afroeconomics, thank God, we're able to focus on financial awareness every day of the year. And that's really where we should be. But if you don't do it any other time, take April to look at your balance sheet. What are your assets? What are your liabilities? And where are you as far as your net worth as a person? Operate and take care of your finances just like a business. If you were to operate a business, we really need to think of ourselves as enterprises. Where's your money going? There's so many, people, especially people who have joint financial situations where there's someone who is really wasting a lot of their income, and they don't realize how much that's taken away from the collective household. Or if you are single, do you realize how much, if you're wasting your money, how costly that is over the long term? Like, if a person thought about, oh, I live right on the bus line, but they do have a car. So if they just said, JB, what if I actually invested this amount of money over the last 5 years into, and just I pick a, you know, hypothetical, I pick up one of my portfolios and just putting that money into that portfolio, and you would see, they would see where, when you cannot afford to waste money. Even the difference between a reasonable car payment and a extreme car payment. When we're talking about getting from A to B, but some people have to get there in a $1,500 car payment, where some will get there in a 600 or 700, which is still a lot of money. But today it's just not. So we have to take the time to sometimes restructure. Hey, I live right here on the bus line, that I can, take this money, and I can catch that bus, and that I can, get rid of this car. Or we don't need to have two cars. We're at a point now where households have two drivers and four and five cars. No, that's really expensive. Even if some of them are paid for, the maintenance of something that's just sitting there will shock you. Just as with storage units. I was talking to a member about her storage unit bill, and I've seen people spend hundreds of thousands over the, years of things just sitting in their storage unit because they just don't want to get rid of it. But they actually could donate these items to people who have been burned out, have lost. There's people who lose their all of their things in a fire or something, and how much you could help. You could just donate it, because if you don't have the space for it, is it really a good use of your money to sit these items in a storage closet and pay $500 a month for that? Many people even more. So there's the lesson for life, and I don't think there's anything special about what we're currently going through. If anything, I've been around quite a while and have my own business for almost 30 years now, and this is nowhere near like the tightest economic times. But I think that we know better than to just keep spending and spending and spending, so that things have to get drastic for us to pick up on the lesson. Yes. Yes. Mm. Yes. Mhm. Okay. Great. Mm. Mm. Great. 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 Fantastic. Good morning, morning, morning. Woo! It's hot. Mm. Stop. Stop. Push in. But a person brings the food. Soon they won't even have the person present the food. Yep. Watch. Wow. Mm. And that's if you walk inside. Wow. Wow. So my job got eliminated. Yeah. Wow. Uh, That's something else. Mm. So that's like the one with self checkout. That's self checkout. That's crazy. I, and I can't stand it at the grocery store. So, but McDonald's is easier than the grocery store to do self checkout. Goodness, it's like that. I guess if you have a special order though, it could be a little difficult. No, exactly. You might want to hold your own lettuce, but the pickle, once it's on there, it's on there. So you definitely, I don't even know if McDonald's has a sandwich with a pickle. Special orders, donuts. I know. Have it your oh, that was Burger King, I think. Yeah. But yeah, yeah. McDonald's like, no, don't have it your way. Have it our way. That's right. Good morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, that's right. Oh, oh, let me see. Mm, mm. Mm, sorry. Mm, good morning, good morning, good morning. If if you're saying something, I cannot see it. So please, say good morning if you can, so I can know that my chat is working correctly. Let me get his call-in number. I'll put it on your invitation also. It's morning, morning, morning. Be quiet. You quiet. I'm not, so I'm gonna keep it loud. Let's go. Oh, that's fantastic. Yes, on everything. So we can chat here as well. So during the commercials, I try to respond. Yes, indeed, we got some people already in there that are watching, streaming from wherever you like to stream, Facebook, YouTube, my AfroEconomics.com website is streaming live right now as well. So Carl Nelson with JB Bryan is on here right now. So just cover that. That's right. Yeah. That's right. That's morning, morning. That's right. Good morning. Cool. What? Mm, 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 uh, yeah. Yeah. Mm, yeah. Exactly. I think that the economy is full of ups and downs, and but as far as the dollar, that we are much better protected by putting your money into an institution that has the FDIC insurance. It was interesting that I saw an argument on a the bank that fell that was based on um, um, cryptocurrency. And they said the beautiful thing about our bank failure, and now I'm not even exaggerating this, is that we didn't use any of the government insurance because they didn't pay anybody back. They didn't protect anybody. And I think that when we do consider putting our money somewhere that isn't the cash, now I'm talking about our liquidity, into a place that doesn't have the backing, the FDIC insurance, and then you're exposing yourself to losing it all. And what happened with this last situation where an FDIC insured bank went down, the amazing part that we're missing is that our community has to acknowledge that their money was back in their account by Monday morning. They shut it down on Friday, Carl. The money was in their account by Monday morning. That is amazing. So everyone that had their money in this other crypto bank got nothing. Now, that's I have a problem with losing all of my money. But I think that our community knows that there's a risk with everything that we do. There's a risk with what we don't do. So I don't think that we should have all of our money in our house. But if you believe in the digitization of money, you definitely need to put your money into a financial institution because the federal government is now setting up FedNow, which is going to move money so fast that if we don't participate, we're really going to get left behind. And it's not going to cost us anything. We've already paid for this system. So this is a way for us to participate in the Fed Now system that is starting to bring in banks in April that and it's going to be largely available, especially for Black business owners. If you want to make sure that you get your money, get into a bank that is going to participate in that Fed Now program. And the only reason that the federal government is being extremely careful with calling it digital is that they have to do everything they can to avoid their money and their system being hacked. So this Fed Now, which they've been working on for 10 years, like that it's no new and before the 10-year system that they're coordinating is a situation where we can actually just have an app on our phone and put your money in without having to worry about there's no bank on my corner. I got to go down to this check cashing place. So as much as we may want to stay out of their system, if we want to be compensated correctly and stop getting robbed by these check cashing places, we're going to have to put ourselves in a position to at least be protected. The worst thing that can happen to you is that you'll be protected in the worst day. In the worst day, you'll be protected. So that my point was coming out of that break was when you had said about like emergency and what should we have and where should we put our money and things like that. We cannot afford to give anybody any money. Now, we like I'm the worst case scenario if you don't participate in this crypto thing at all, the worst case scenario is you put it in a bank and you know that you always have a certain amount of money and you're going to pay you interest. Mhm. Mm. There's nobody has failed. Banks don't even fail in America. They just get bought out by a bigger bank. That's it. And the big bank, so the only risk is to uh, No, I don't really, unfortunately, I think that if we really look deep into the dollar figures, a lot of the banks that we call black banks are just locations for white banks, unfortunately. And they're all backed by the FDIC. So if you go to a bank and it says it's black, owned, then you just and it has FDIC. That's all you need to worry about is that it has FDIC. The challenge will be is that will that smaller bank get recognized a little bit later? No, we can't say that because the bank in California was a smaller bank and they had their money by Monday. And the government is going to protect you as a depositor and not allow that bank to not have your money on reserve or enough to protect you on reserve. And if they do drop to that level, they shut it down and then open up and give you your money based on the insurance payout. And what we, uh huh, unless you have an individual account that you've set up and you have more than 250,000 in it, then that first 250,000 is 100% protected. Now, I don't understand why an individual would have more than 150,000 just sitting in cash at one bank. No, so they could have part of it if it were in an IRA where everything that was over 250, that IRA gets another 250,000 if it were sitting in cash in the IRA. If it were invested, it would have the SIPC, which my brokerage accounts have uh-huh. Now, that is a security investor protection corporation. And so on brokerage accounts, which that I use, the brokerage accounts have the FDIC for the cash portion, and then they go into the security investor protection for the account amounts that are actually invested so that the person is not at risk of the institution they decided to set up their brokerage account with. So, and you're protected way and far beyond the 250,000. So I have never even, yes, yes, right, great. Y'all are so quiet today. Mm, it's probably me. Let me see. I'm gonna go in the chat. Get y'all up. Let's go all the way into the studio this morning. I was listening to the instrumental version of Wobble Wobble. That's some good instrumentation. Took him down. How you doing, Mr. Clayton? Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Let's see who shared it. Oh, that's awesome. And how they do it? Oh, good morning, Jenny Jones. Make a comment so I can see if it pops up. Just want to say, oh, that's funny. The good popped up there. Come on, kids. It's stuck on me. My Chrome keeps tripping. Come on. Look at that. I can't see y'all right now. I don't know if y'all can see me. If you can't see me, let me know. I mean, try to let me know. I see black. There it is. I don't know. Let's see. I got Linda Wallace's good morning. GM. I thought it was all over Linda because this thing was tripping. Y'all see what I see. Geek Squad call themselves fixed it. They didn't fix it. Good morning. Well, at least I know the chat is working. Thank you. Yeah, buddy. Information is valuable. That's right. Get up. Get up. Let's go. Let's go. JB Bryan Financial. Yeah. Mm. Da, 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 da. Let's put up a QR code. Look at that. Oh, got the logo. It froze me again. It keeps freezing me, Paul. Mm. Here we go. Hope y'all can see me. It's tripping. Hope you can at least hear it. Mm. That's right. Mm. Mm, mm, yes. Wow. Okay. The and that's a very good point. Like how you need to make sure that wherever you put your money, that you are protected. So as far as the risk of it and the volatility and the value of your money going up and down, that's based on your portfolio and who you decide to invest with. If I were your investment advisor, I would do a risk analysis and then invest your money accordingly. But as far as like just your emergency funds and making sure that you have money available to you, that brings home the thought of think about the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is wherever you put your money, if that falls apart, And I'll feel a lot more comfortable putting my money somewhere where I can check the company out, where I can walk into the door, where I can meet with that person, where I know that it has backing that will ensure, like the FDIC insurance or the SIPC insurance, like that it has proper protection from you and the business you decide to do business with. And we're putting our money in places where has no home office. It has no balance sheet to show you. It has no history of earnings. It has no federal backing and insurance. And so that is a challenge for us to really take seriously that yes, there are some really bad things that can happen on this planet. But while I can control some exposure, some things that I am exposed to, that you would control the risk that you can control. It's like if you feel like that that you may get robbed, wouldn't you put an alarm system on your property? That's what you would do. You would protect yourself from an outsider coming in. And the last thing that you would do is take everything you own and just put it out in the front of your yard and just leave it there if you thought that I need to make sure that these things are protected for my next generation, for my worst case, for my emergency, for what are you doing exposing yourself to something that you would have to pay a fee to get to? That's not an emergency fund. Yes. Um, yes. Yeah. Mm, mm, yeah. But yeah, everybody. That's right. That's right. I don't have total faith in the government. I just know that the government owes me money. I know that I pay taxes. So that's the reason that the government takes money from you is in order to fund to protect you, to give you a road, to give you the FDIC, to give you, the sidewalks, to give you, all of those are funded by our income and our sales and our purchases and the sales taxes and all of these things that we pay, they owe us that. So all I'm saying is get what is owed. We're not even getting what is owed. Like in most scenarios, I when I look at a person's tax return, the problem with our community is we pay too much into taxes because we're not getting the proper help that we need. And then when we owe the taxes, we go and we use another con artist company that is robbing you even more to tell you that you can get out of a liability that you cannot get out of. But because it makes us feel good, because it makes you feel good, we expose ourselves to these unnecessary expenses, unnecessary risk, unnecessary. So, no, no, I have worked on my own all of my career, but I have put money into Social Security. I have paid personal and corporate taxes. I have done everything that I am supposed to do, and the instructions in which have been given to me, and they owe me and my community everything that we put in. And the worst thing that will happen is that Social Security will give everybody back what they put in. That's the worst day. But I meet people all the time who haven't put anything in it because they think it's going to go away, or they're going to not pay me, or they're going to when has that ever happened? Like in our lifetime, I know what has happened historically, but the only people who try to get it back to us, has been taken to us from us, is the government. That is the government. And this is the country that we have decided to live in. So we need to learn how to maximize this system instead of running away from it. You are owed that much. Because if you live here, you got to put money in it. So instead, we put all of our energy into how do I avoid it? How do I get away from this? I don't want to hear that JB Bryan because she's not talking about how they going, who are they? And they're going to, so it's, I would be doing you a disservice. I don't even work for the government. Most of the people listening work for the government. I don't work for the government. I pay you. Most people that work for the government, they work for me. I'm the entrepreneur. So how in the world can I have the slave mentality? You know, the, mm, but it's already we can't. Yeah, but at the same time, there is a high chance that the economy is going to take off, and we're going to miss it. We when you're a contrarian, which it can be argued, that's what they're arguing, that this everything is out of favor. This is actually when we should be trying to get in on things at a lower price when it's cheaper, taking advantage of it. So it's much more likely that we're going to miss this opportunity to participate in a lagging American economy again, because too many of us are going to listen to what might happen, but we're still here, and it's still the biggest economy, one of the biggest in the world. And we have the same challenges that all the other large countries have. So this is where we decided to live. We got to get mine. Get mine. But it is interesting to me, though. People that work for the government are the ones who complain the most. And then you got entrepreneurs like me. We got to every day get up and think about the best case scenario. So when you have a salary and you're all good, y'all can focus on what's going to go wrong. But when every day of your career, you're going out there trying to create income, because nobody is going to feed me and my child if I don't work. But if you work for the government, you probably got 4 or 5 weeks of vacation pay, but you think they going out of business and they carrying you and maybe the generation before you. So if we are voting for people that you think are putting this into the hell and moving this country downward, stop voting for their same political party that you don't trust. That we're putting everything into it. And then I'm the wrong one because I'm out here not working for the government, hustling every day of my life, trying to create it. But I'm wrong because I'm supposed to tell you that where you work, and the majority of the Black community works for a municipality to some extent. So, like I told a client, if what you think does happen, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because I'm prepared. I don't depend on the government. I pay y'all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You need to be quiet and think because it doesn't make any sense. You're sitting there ruining your own future. You're betting against your own pension. You're the one with the guaranteed income for life, and they're the ones telling these young children that y'all don't even need to worry about working. There's no future. Put money in Social Security, and you're not gonna ever get it, but you're living off it. You're living off it. So I mean that our community is more likely to depend on Social Security than any other community. So if you truly believe that, wouldn't it make more sense to take political action? Because we gotta put money in there. So we need to be taking political action and voting for people that actually are doing better by the money. But when they say the Social Security bucket is going empty, that's only because they're putting it into other directions. And that's people that we're voting for are putting it into other things. So what will we do? Because I'm financially independent. I work, I eat. I only eat what I kill. I do it. I do it. I go out and hunt if I have to. But most of you who have worked for the government don't have that mentality. You know? Mm. Plus, they making commission. They trying to sell us on some product that they're getting an override on, recruiting people, you know what I mean, about the government's going under and taking your damn dollars and keeping them in their pocket. Mm. Stop with electric vehicles. Amen. Mm. That's right. They're not contributing because they're not contributing because of that's right. And then they give you a federal incentive. A the federal, and they give you a federal incentive, right, to buy electric car. You get like discount, I think. So They should have known. That's amazing. Guess I'll get mine soon. Well, well, that was a nice notice. That was probably just because of your county being nice. Because, oh, maybe I get it. I don't know. I do everything so electronically. You're the only one opening your mail. But it's not like I have an EV anyway. Exactly. They're like, we're not gonna, and we're gonna waste paper and send it to everybody. Did they say that? Did they say, well, that's right. That's right. Well, I'm telling you, because they get like a federal, there's a federal like discount or something, like there is federal incentive. Uh-huh. Especially on those, like on the ones other than Tesla, which I thought was kind of mean. You get like look at the, like Ford EV or something. There's some sort of rebate, I think. Mm, we're doing it. Morning, morning. Good morning. Let's see. Last time I went out and I tried to see it, like gave me a hard time. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your morning with me. I sent a notice out late yesterday. I've been busy. I'm busy. Yeah, exactly. I'm picking on the entrepreneur. Not sad. Man. Mm, mm. He sounds like he's in a bucket. Where did he record that? That don't make no sense. He was on the phone or something. That's inappropriate. That don't even sound like him. Exactly. Only you would know that. To us, it sounds like he's in a bucket, but you know exactly what they did. What kind of microphone they have? I'm sad. That's what I think. And they just went with it. They went with it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, I think I'm about to leave, y'all. Mm. Hey, Tony. Great. Thank you. Hey, Tony. There, I think. There you go. Good morning. Mm, mm, Woo. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, the TSP, definitely has different options. I help people with that all the time. Do a risk analysis. I've even gone into, major departments of the government, had the opportunity to do a risk analysis of everybody in the room with your big computer labs, and then show them the TSP options because the algorithms have assigned risk levels to each of the options, so I can actually put together a TSP portfolio based on the risk level of the employee. And it makes a huge difference over the history of their career. I mean, that's how you determine your lifestyle, on how efficiently you manage that money that you're putting in there. Now you get the tax advantage, you're getting the current tax deduction, but I meet a lot of people who listen to on television or YouTube and do different things with their TSP. Be careful with whom you're getting your advice from, and make sure that when you want investment advice, you work with a registered investment advisory firm like mine, whose responsibility is to you, not to the product. That is looking out by law for your best interest. And those are very few in our community. And that's why I think a lot of us are just randomly doing our things with people who say they're financial advisors, but they actually are salespeople for a particular product. And they're telling you to do something based on a commission that they're going to receive. And we need to be very careful with that, because a lot of people will tell you you should buy XYZ. They don't even know you. I could not do that. So, because of my license, that's again where the government is protecting you as a taxpayer. Because someone that has a license with the government is regulated. They bring in people to audit me. They look over my office. They make sure that my clients' money is where it's supposed to be. They have a responsibility to you that when you pay your taxes, you don't even realize that you're getting. But if you're taking your money and putting it in products that are not regulated by the government, and they're not regulated, the product is not registered, or it's not traded on the exchanges, then we're exposing ourselves to lack of protection from any government, that will, that if that product falls apart, your money is gone and you've invested in it, but ill-guidedly, because it wasn't right. It had never been, the product itself had never got a clearance to be in front of you. But we do it even with our emergency money. And we don't have to do that. It's so much, life can be so much easier. And you had spoken about having an IRA within a brokerage account. And then that is when you, mhm, mhm, yes. That's all. There is no money market in the TSP. There isn't there there yeah, but are you yeah, yes. And again, like Charles, but Charles, be careful because what Charles just said could be devastating to somebody. When he said the TSP in the money market, they do not. They do not. Yeah. Yes, but they do not get inside information, and that is why they have not put it into the index, the S&P index, for example. They don't want to expose you to losing money in the market that they cannot control. We do not. The stock market is not to be controlled by the government, even though it has some influence. It cannot control all of those components of that S&P 500. So that is a hard choice for the government. But if they hand over our social security back to us as investors, you need to be prepared to find someone like JB Bryan that's licensed to help you set up that allocation appropriately so you can see the challenge of holding on for money for throughout your whole life. That's right. 1-844 sure 1-844 JBBRYAN, or go to jbbryan.afroeconomics.com. Just Google me and it'll pop right up. But I have a complimentary no excuse membership so that we can talk about these types of things, especially that caller was talking about different protection. And then Charles kind of spoke on something that would, and I just don't want to do it too quick, but we have to be very careful who we're taking our advice from. With all due respect, though, you have to remember some people have a legal responsibility to you, like myself, and some people can say whatever you want to say. If I wasn't here to correct that sentence, imagine somebody would go out there and call TSP and say, I want the money market. Somebody said there was a money market. There is no money market. So be careful. And thank you for the opportunity. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Have a great, 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 great day. Mhm.